How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Well, What Did You Think? And this is our spoiler review of... I think you guys can tell. It's a spoiler review of Batman. And we're the squad. We got everyone here. Amir.
Alvan.
Owen.
Omid. Yeah, we're going to go into spoilers. All of our thoughts on the Batman. It just came out last week. And we're going to say stuff we liked, stuff we didn't like, and then, kind of go into our favorite moments. But I want to start with Owen. What was the story, man?
So the Batman starts off, we see the Riddler, we don't know the Riddler, it's the Riddler, but he kills the mayor. You see it done, I'm not going to get into opinions. So we see the Riddler kill this mayor, and then we see Batman show up, and there's a letter, to the Batman. And it just starts this downward spiral where the Riddler's killing more people, and you're trying to connect the dots, and it's really this this detective noir film with Batman teaming up with Jim Gordon, and they're trying to do everything they can to find the Riddler before he kills more people. It gets really crazy in the end. The Riddler at the very end, he reveals himself, and he ends up flooding Gotham to kind of just drain the swamp, in a sense.
Yeah, he has a message.
He has a message for the world, and I think it's a beautiful message. I think that yeah, we'll get to it.
I was asking for you.
The killer left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you?
You came. I've been trying to reach you.
Riddler's latest.
And we're back, guys. So we're going into our thoughts. And just a quick summary. Batman is fighting Riddler. Riddler's up to his fucking shenanigans. I'm back, and I'm doing my stupid fucking games, having riddles, and you're on this wild goose chase. And what were you guys' thoughts?
Go ahead, Alvan.
I'll go.
Yeah,
okay. You want to go first.
So I'll go. I think a big thing about this movie that people know is a 3-hour movie.
Yes.
I enjoy a lot about this movie, but I think it's for sure feels its length. After coming out of this movie, I thought it felt longer than the Snyder Cut, and the Snyder Cut's a 4-hour movie. But overall, I think this movie had a most beautiful comic book movie. The way it's shot, the cinematography, really, really good. The soundtrack I love. I think we were talking about Robert Pattinson. I don't know if I like him yet. I think I kind of have to wait. I'm not one way or the other. I think right now he's Batman.
He's a good Batman. I told these two when we saw it at the theater.
We did see it together, actually. Same theater, unplanned.
Yeah, unplanned. Mm-hmm. He's a good Batman, but we haven't seen enough of his Bruce Wayne where we can make an opinion about how he is as the dual character.
I agree.
But his Batman is very brutal, very brooding, very emo, which I like that aspect of it. Very new take on the character in live action. We've
never really seen a Batman like this because he really is honestly depressed, and I think all of us do like whenever we talk about it that Batman is shitty to be Batman. And you really do see the depression in this, which is all really cool. It's really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I'll say is that for Batman, this is the first time you really feel, I think, the weight of him, the fear that he's able to instill in everyone. I thought was really, really dope. And you're going to be seeing a lot of people say, oh, Gotham feels like a character, And I think you really do feel that presence. But I think overall for me, like Omid said, you do feel the length at times. And we got a different version of Batman. We also got a very different version of Riddler. I think this is something we've never seen for Riddler before. Or the only other live-action Riddler in a movie we've seen is the original Adam West, but then Jim Carrey. Very much different than Jim Carrey's version.
Yeah.
They're taking it a little more seriously, more grounded. He's he's actually mentally ill. So I thought that was interesting. He had some interesting lash-out moments.
Yeah, I like how they made him on the spectrum, a little bit autistic. I will say that I believe, Owen probably thinks we hate this, or not, we dislike it.
Look, here's the thing. I really like this movie. Obviously not a perfect movie. There can be no perfect movie. If you think Batman's a perfect movie, get your head out of your ass.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think,
but at the same time, when these guys came out, they gave it a 7. I think a 7. I think this is far above a 7. I think a 7 is.
We didn't give our scores actually when we talked.
Well, you guys. Well, I mean, they.
I told I was 6-7 range.
I would give it an 8.5. I think there's.
I agree with that one on that one. Maybe mine's a 9. Mine's a 9.
There's more pros to this movie than the cons, but for me, the cons is just the length.
The story.
Yeah, it feels 3 hours.
It does. It really does.
I think.
We waited for the credits, which was nothing. It was a URL.
First off, I didn't wait for the credits.
Fair.
I looked it up because I at the end I was really tired.
Yeah.
But I started my movie at midnight, so you can only imagine it's 4 a.m. and I just want to go home and sleep.
Yeah.
But I see what you guys are saying about how the runtime you could feel a little bit, but I in my head, I'm trying to think of what you could cut out to really shorten that runtime. But I think I love every scene in this movie to where I can't think of a scene or a specific part of the movie where you can cut it out and it still feels like just as good of a movie.
I would shorten the car chase scene. I thought that was way too long.
I would take out a lot of the Carmine Falcone scenes.
Well, see, I like John Turturro.
He was great in the movie, but I think you could take the time you spent it was a middle chunk of the movie, right?
Yeah.
Figuring out El Rata Alada.
Yeah.
Right? You can take out some of that and kind of develop Riddler more because he was in only what? I want to say
like
5 scenes, maybe.
But I think that's
ending.
the charm of the movie is that the Riddler's in it just for the perfect amount of time. The Riddler doesn't need to be in it anymore.
Yes.
The whole point of it is the mystery of it. You don't know who the Riddler is. You don't know his plan till the very end. And if you were to get it any more, it kind of ruins the reveal, the magic at the very end. Yeah. We get the perfect amount of the Riddler, I would say. And at the very end, when we have his reveal, it does feel a little bit like a letdown. But I do think that the interaction that they have in Arkham is what kind of makes up for it when you finally see them face to face.
Yeah, I think for sure the Arkham scene, them in the cell, that was my favorite scene. In the whole movie.
No.
This is not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, they reveal that he's just a giant man baby, which I loved, right? Yeah. He doesn't know how to control his emotions. Another aspect that I love is how he thought him and Batman were a team. He was leaving this not to lead Batman to the other clues, but is like, here's what I'm going to do next. Follow me, right? Yeah. We're a team now. Yeah. And I liked how Batman was like, no, you're a loser. You're going to die alone in this cell. You're a murdered
psychopath who's going to die here alone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I'm going to touch upon what Owen said. I think Paul Dano was such a good Riddler that it's like a compliment sandwich, I guess, where I would have wanted less John Turturro for more Paul Dano because he was that good.
That is true.
I wanted a lot more of Paul Dano, honestly. I thought he was really good, and I think it's almost like he was just so good that it felt like I was robbed. That he just needed to be in it more. Yes. Like I think my favorite scene, like you said, the Arkham scene was really good. But I think my favorite Riddler scene was. Do you remember the bomb collar?
Yeah.
I thought that was like the best. Like,
that was a really good scene.
That was like the best scene in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like he's just giving him the riddles, and then Batman had to help. I think it was the DA solve it.
Yeah.
And it's like if you are justice, please don't lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
Yeah.
He's like, the bribes. How much did you charge for these guys?
Nothing.
Yeah. And then when he says, give me the rat, he's like, nope, I'm a dead man already. I'm not doing it. My family doesn't deserve to die. I'm not giving anything away. And you literally see him blow up. I was like, dude, that's fucking dark. Mm-hmm. That felt like a Saw. Yeah, I thought Riddler had really cool scenes. I think you're gonna see throughout our review, at least for me. I don't really have any issues with the actors. My biggest issue in this movie is actually the writing. I feel like they have you go along this wild goose chase, and they have so much packed in this movie. Like, there's a character that they want you to care about for Selena Kyle's story arc. There's a character that her best friend got kidnapped, and you're supposed to care about her. And she's like, I need to find her. Her name's Annika. I need to find Annika. Where's Annika? And they keep making you follow her, and when she finally gets killed, they want you to believe, like, oh no, Annika, they got killed. It's like, I don't care. We don't even know her. We never even had a moment with her. And I think still my biggest issue with the movie, I think there wasn't enough scenes of just dialogue. Like, I think the Arkham scene is so good because it's just two people talking. And I think maybe Matt Reeves is more of a visual storyteller because that's a comment on how the movie looks. Like, it looks super dope. It's amazing. Yeah. But I think the movie could have really benefited with, like, just to slow down, take out some action, take out some exposition, just have a moment where you're able to see what the character thinks at times. You know what I mean?
I could see that. I could see why you say that. Because I do think that a lot of my favorite parts were just Batman interacting with someone, or Catwoman interacting with someone, or just the Penguin just being there, you know? So I do really like a lot of those scenes.
Speaking of Penguin.
Go for it.
Let's just talk about Penguin.
I thought Penguin was great. I think he was really good.
Yeah, he was really good.
Tell that it was Colin
I had no idea until after.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
His voice was really cool too.
Yeah, I would have.
Take it easy, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm. I would have wanted to see more Penguin, but I think the amount of time he was in the movie, amazing.
I think a lot of us are saying more Penguin, more Riddler, less of Turturro. I think that this movie did the characters so much justice that we want more. This is what they want. They want a sequel. We know this is us asking for a sequel because we want more of the character. I think a lot of us probably felt the same way after The Dark Knight, where we wanted more Joker. I think at the end of the day, when you have a really good villain, you're just gonna want more.
So what are your thoughts on Batman? Like Robert Pattinson overall, did you guys? I guess not to play the compare game yet, but I want to start off with Omid. Like, what were your thoughts on Patty?
I still said I wanted to watch. I've only seen the movie once. It's really hard to get to devote almost 4 hours of your day for a movie. But I think as Batman, I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought as the detective, he did a really good job as detective. I think my favorite scene as Batman was, do you remember when Selena goes to the nightclub?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she has the contact, and like them working together saying, oh, go to this guy, press this guy, talk to this guy. That all worked really good when she was going to leave the DA. He's like, no, stay on him. We need to stay on him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, that was an awesome detective scene, and Batman was really cool. I like that a lot. I think I haven't been given enough of Bruce Wayne, so I won't. I definitely don't think he's the best Bruce Wayne, but I think his Batman was pretty good. And then for the compare game, I think people shit too much on like Ben Affleck. That when I was watching this movie, I was like, all right, it's cool, Ron Pattinson's our Batman, but part of me still kind of wanted to see a Ben Affleck movie, honestly.
Could you have seen this movie being a Ben Affleck Batman movie?
I could see,
because this was the original plan, right?
Yeah, but I think this Ben Affleck wrote his own script for Batman.
Yeah, and then Matt Reeves came on to direct it, and then when Affleck left, they redid everything.
I didn't know that.
I thought it was Ben Affleck wrote a script, and they're like, yeah, we're not doing that, and then Matt Reeves wrote his own script, and Ben Affleck wasn't attached at that point.
I think what, from my understanding, is Ben Affleck left, and then that kind of gave Matt Reeves a blank slate to work on his own.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck had like nothing to do with any of this story.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure his was like a Deathstroke movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are you saying was Matt Reeves writing it with the intention that Ben Affleck was going to play Batman?
No, he wasn't writing this with the intention, but I'm just saying, could you see Ben Affleck?
I think
Batman
honestly Ben Affleck could have done a decent job.
This?
They just had to obviously age up everything.
Yeah.
But I think Ben Affleck could really sell a tortured Batman because we've seen in BVS.
I liked.
You don't buy it?
I like Batfleck, but I just think that the way Robert Pattinson was able to. I think a lot of times when we look at like animated Batman movies or comics, they have the white eyes, and that's how we see the animation, and that's how we get the facial features of Batman. I feel like Robert Pattinson, you could tell what he was thinking or feeling, or just the intimidation factor, just from his eyes alone. There's so many scenes where he's looking down at someone, and you could tell that like this dude's pretty fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
So I think that him and his cowl, he was able to do so much without being able to see the emotions on his face, and I don't think Batfleck would have been able to do that.
I agree. I think it was also probably like on the cowl. Like, this cowl. I don't like how it looked, but I think what you're saying, how you can emote just from his eyes. Ron Pattinson for sure can do that.
Yeah, I think he was.
Also, I don't know if this is something you guys noticed with the cowl, but I thought like throughout the movie, the more shit he gets beaten out of him, his cowl becomes more form-fitting.
Really?
Yeah, not like because it looked looser and didn't like kind of go on his nose, but and he was like, wow, this looks more like a Batman cowl.
That's cool.
And he was like, oh, yeah,
I think
that's something to look into.
It might be, but also it could be. At the end of the movie, you're just more used to how it looks.
Maybe.
So, probably.
I'm going with Amir. I feel like that's something that they could have definitely put in.
I wouldn't be surprised because the movie's like how visually like striking it is. Like, oh, it's something that they probably did. Like, over time, it get mold onto his face.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that this was I have to rewatch. I need to rewatch The Dark Knight. I feel like I have to need to rewatch The Dark Knight. But right now, I'm putting this as my favorite Batman.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm putting this as my favorite Batman, and I think for
Batman
the reason
movie or Batman character.
Oh yeah, Batman actor or is he Batman movie?
Right now, actor.
Okay.
I know I still have to rewatch Dark Knight to compare the films.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to see Batman again. But right now
We've all seen it once.
Yes, we've all seen it once.
I'm down to see it again.
And I would say that I think this one, this is a movie about Batman. It's not a movie about Bruce Wayne, and I think that that's my favorite part because it's a unique take. Because every other movie, we have a lot of Bruce Wayne scenes, and we see him as this playboy, and we're not there yet. We see Batman in his like depressive state. We see him. Honestly, he's not very likable in the beginning when he's talking to Alfred, and I felt that way watching the movie. I was like, this dude's a piece of shit.
Yeah, what was it with our brothers? Like, oh, he's an ungrateful shit. Like, dude, this guy just survived a bombing, and then when he wakes up, it's like, you lied to me. He's like, dude, check to see if he's okay. He just got survived a bombing.
And I love that because he's not a perfect character. He is a piece of shit at times. He's Batman. He thinks he can go out there and beat on these people and call himself Vengeance. And at the very end of the movie, when he sees one of the Riddler thugs call himself Vengeance, that's his turning point. That's his turning point when he realizes he has to be more than that. Yeah. And I think in the next Batman,
what happened? There's a scene with the Riddler thug.
The Riddler says, someone says, "Who are you?" to the Riddler thug after he almost kills him. Right?
He unmasks him,
and he says, "I'm Vengeance." And that's Batman's turning point where he realizes he has to be more than that. Yeah. He has to be hope for Gotham. And I think that from the point that we are at now, in the next Batman movie, we are going to see more of not a lighthearted Bruce Wayne, but someone who appreciates what the opportunities he's been given.
Yes, I can see them kind of no way homing this character where, you know how in the MCU Spider-Man, his origin story is No Way Home, right? The end of No Way Home, he's kind of the full-fledged Spider-Man we all know from the comics. I can see them doing that with this particular iteration of Bruce Wayne and Batman, or by the end of this proposed trilogy that Matt Reeves has, he is the playboy, but he also is Batman, right? He comes into that character we know from the comics, because right now he is more Batman than Bruce Wayne, and I do want to see that growth of him as Bruce Wayne than Batman. I want to see that clash of him having to do Wayne Enterprise responsibilities, but also being Batman.
I think my biggest thing is like, he's not the playboy Bruce. Like, I'm not asking for that. Like, you can. The whole point of an adaptation is like you're seeing something from the comic that was striking to you, and then you hire a director or writer that has a different interpretation that is faithful to them. So I don't need a playboy Bruce Wayne, but I need a Bruce and a Batman that I feel like you understand emotionally. Because there are times in movies like Batman is really fucking cool, and like there's this whole romance between him and Catwoman, and I think the goodbye scene, I really like that actually, where they're driving off and it's like it feels like, oh, this is a really nice moment of like them playfully like racing with each other, and then there's a moment where they just had to both part and go their own way. She goes to Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
But,
I love that.
But I want to hear more on why you don't. You were saying that you
I'm
don't.
not connected.
Yeah, you're not connected.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you feel that way?
So it doesn't have to do with me not seeing him outside of the mask. Like I can sympathize with him when he has the mask on, because like you said, you can connect with him through his eyes.
Yeah.
But I think for Batman, I feel like a lot of this movie was, let's say he's solving a riddle, right? He's just talking to Gordon, and they're playing out the riddle, but I'm not seeing him come out and like, see the moments like, he's this super vengeful Batman. Like there's an amazing voiceover at the end where he's like, I need to become vengeance, or I need to become hope. It's like, that's great, but this is through voiceover narration. Like it should be shown rather than just said.
You didn't like the
But
narration?
I think it is shown.
I think the narration for me was like one of the best parts of the movie, because it felt like the comics. You get to see the introspection of.
That's true.
I feel like that's like it's a cheap way of like, it's like you should have a scene where I'm able to see, like, I think Batman needed to have a moment where he did go to that next level, like when he was beating on.
Yeah, I was have that earlier.
He wasn't brutal enough where I think he needed that turning point. Like, he had the person hold on to his arm, and that was a really cool moment for Hope. But I feel like there needs to be moments of just seeing Bruce, like, Gordon maybe says, hey, check yourself. Like, hey, you're taking it too far. Maybe he does, like, beat the shit out of someone. So, like, the moment in the trailer. Like, that wasn't brutal enough to me. Like, I think I needed myself to say, hey, Batman, that's wrong what you're doing. And then he has that evolution.
I don't think it's necessarily that he was too brutal, but he was becoming an inspiration for these people to do these horrible acts. After his conversation with Riddler, he realizes that not only was he an inspiration, but this entire time Riddler was thinking that he was teaming up with Batman. So I think that he doesn't necessarily, it's not that he's too brutal, but the message he's putting out to Gotham is the wrong message. And that turning point is when that Riddler thug says that I'm vengeance. That's when he realizes, well, not that he's been too brutal, but that he's been an inspiration to people to do bad things. And he's not the hope that they should be.
That's a fair one, because I didn't miss that. I didn't know that's what the guy said when
come more in the frame.
Huh?
Come more in the frame. You need to lean in more.
Okay. So I think that is a good point. I didn't hear him say that when they unmasked him, but I think there needs to be moments like the arc of interrogation where you're just able to see him converse. So a lot of movies, solving a riddle or doing an exposition dump to get to the next scene. Like, there's one of my least favorite scenes in the movies when Bruce Wayne goes to Falcone and he says, I need to know the truth. What do you know about my dad? He's like, Maroni killed your dad. And then Bruce goes back to Alfred. Alfred, can you believe it? Maroni killed my dad. And then he says, no, Maroni didn't kill your dad. Falcone killed your dad. He goes back to Falcone. Falcone, what are you talking about? You killed my dad. And it's like this whole, it's like...
I don't think he goes back to Falcone?
Yeah, or Falcone.
I don't think he does after that.
He doesn't go back as Bruce Wayne.
He goes back as Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, what was the point of... They say, Maroni killed the dad. Falcone killed the dad. He goes back to Falcone. Hey, you killed my dad.
He finds out he's the rat. Right.
How is he?
Yeah. Also,
Falcone's the rat.
Yeah.
He's the one with power. How come
Omid has something to say.
Oh, good.
Yeah. For the rat, me and I were talking about that. How is he the rat if he was the strongest guy in Gotham? I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Because he said he owned everyone.
It was like an expression, the rat with wings, which is. They thought it was a bat.
Yeah,
they thought it was
and a penguin.
Penguin, and then it turned out to be a falcon. Falcone.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I thought that was...
So he wasn't an actual rat because he owned everyone.
El Rata.
He was the rat too.
Alada.
Yeah, I think he
He
ratted
was a
on
rat and says, like,
Marconi.
He ratted on Maroni.
Yeah, or Maroni. Yeah, he.
How can he be telling
Okay.
about if he's the one to report?
No, what Owen said was he ratted out Maroni.
He was Maroni's
didn't
rat.
do it.
No, he what?
Maroni didn't kill him, Falcone.
We're not talking about
No.
Thomas Wayne.
We're talking about
he's a
this.
rat.
We're talking about the biggest drug bust in Gotham City history, right? That's I think where all of this kind of converges, where all of these people. That's honestly where like I feel like the story starts.
Yeah, it's the whole the whole universe is set on.
Yeah, on this
the
big drug bust.
Yeah.
And that's where the rat comes in. That's where Falcone rats to the police, to the
So that's how
mayor.
Thomas Wayne
That's
busts them?
huh?
That's how Thomas Wayne's able to bust.
Thomas Wayne-
I don't think Thomas Wayne busted them. No,
The drug bust wasn't through Thomas Wayne?
No,
No.
the cops.
it was the
So-
cops. I think. Go ahead.
No, so how'd you guys feel about this starting year 2 of Batman?
I thought it was interesting. I mean, it's
I think
It felt like they mentioned a lot of things that didn't happen, I guess.
I think for a year 2, I think I thought it was fine where they started the movie. But I think one of the biggest problems with the movie is they're making you go in expecting you to know certain things
Yeah,
about
exactly.
about characters. Like I don't think
Yeah.
you should go in expecting Selena and Bruce to get together. I think you had to definitely build that because
Yeah.
the first time they kissed, I was like, whoa.
That was out of the field.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell did you? Well, I was like, how did you guys like each other? You
Yeah.
don't even know anything about him. And I was talking to Nick about it. He's like, oh, it's just pure physical attraction. And that to me is like that's just covering it bad, right? That's just like
No, I actually. I was thinking. I know. I agree with what Nick is saying. That
Yeah,
it's
you
not
should.
them in love with each other, and it's just them. It's these two lonely people where she had already lost a friend, and Bruce is already this lonely, depressed guy. Where they actually are able to help each other out, and I like that Batman goes to Catwoman for help. It's not Catwoman asking Batman. The only time that she calls him over
the end,
is to say
kill
that
the
she
guy.
is to say that she found him, that she
Yeah,
did the job on her
so
own.
If I find him, help me kill him.
So I just think that it's really cool to see this interaction between the two of them, and I think at the end it is just purely that they're attracted to each other and they're not in love with each other. That's why I mean,
But
if
at the end,
they
though-
really were in love with each other, there would have been a much bigger struggle or a much bigger heartbreak with them going apart.
But
They
they
were-
wanted you to feel it. There was a big heartbreak when it's like, oh, you're already spoken for. So it's like she wanted more. I think if she just wanted to hit it and quit it, she wouldn't have been so sad.
I think that she was open to the idea of Batman and this person who probably was the first and only person to show any ounce of care towards her in her life.
That's true.
And I think that at the very end, we got to see them leaving each other, but it wasn't this big heartbreak for either of them. It was something that they felt like something was off, but it wasn't necessarily a breaking point for either of them. And what?
The word that I would use is just bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually I was telling Amir that you remember the scene like when he took the adrenaline and beat the shit out of that one guy.
That was dope.
I remember they should have had that earlier because I think how I would have fixed Selena and Bruce was when he's wailing on that one guy. Maybe he's getting shot at, and Selena needs to save Batman. So like she stops all the guards and she actually carries him out to her apartment, and that's when Batman will wake up and she's like cleaning his wounds and repairing his bullet holes, and then she has to take off his mask, and that's when she finds out who Bruce Wayne is, and they need that one connection of just like them like seeing eye to eye of who they really are and just talking. That I would have bought the relationship like that. I think it was just really hard for me to. They just want you to know Batman and Catwoman get together, buy it.
I think that Selena's not in love with Bruce Wayne, but she's in love with Batman.
Yes.
And I think they were
I would
feeling.
have changed it. I would have changed it to.
I think it makes it for a stronger emotional connection. It's like, oh, she likes the person rather than this image. Or like even if she liked Batman, right? Then I feel like there needs to be a moment where they build that. Like you say, oh, physical attraction. But I think you still have to see it. It's like, oh, okay, that's what sparks it. He did something that made her say, oh wow, I'm won over by him.
I agree.
I think. Go ahead.
Go.
No, I was gonna say. I think we need to rewatch the movie.
I agree.
I think for a big part of this is we need to rewatch the movie to see more, because I feel like there's so much that there's in there that we're gonna miss it on our first shot.
3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. For me, I still felt like it was believable because I feel like there is a slow rise to that. You know, like when he first goes to the apartment, she says, "I like strays." Well, Batman's literally a stray.
Yeah, that
He's
was a
an
good line.
orphan.
I got to think about strays.
Yeah,
that was a great
he's
line.
an orphan. He is a stray. She's already had this conventional attraction because she's been with people like that before. She's taking care of Anika or whatever. Annika. She's taking care of Annika. She's already had this interaction with people who are like that, who are lost, and she knows Batman's lost because she can feel that.
What do you think about the scene when Batman is spying on Catwoman and with the binoculars in her room? You remember when she's like undressed? I was like, whoa, easy there, Bruce.
I just think I don't know. I still feel like Bruce was trying to do the right thing and figure out where she was
There's
going.
one question I want to ask you guys because I think for me personally, the movie tries to really make a big, I guess, message about Thomas Wayne, this white knight. But it's like, I think for me personally, it's like, dude, I don't give a shit about Thomas Wayne because there are no scenes where we get to know him. So I think maybe, I guess they're relying on the idea that, oh, it's the parent of Bruce, of Batman. He has to be this huge emotional character. But I was like, there are no scenes that we've seen of him. So when they keep talking like, oh, this amazing twist where it's like, oh, he was working with the mob. It's like, I thought for me, it's like, oh, no one gives a shit because we didn't see him. And then Thomas Wayne's like not that big, not too big of a part of like the Batman's life in this. Like he died 20 years ago. It's like for this drug bust, like, oh, this is supposed to be this big reveal. It's like, this is 20 years ago. I don't think anyone's gonna really care that this guy's trying to expose an old politician, especially for something that we don't care about. What were your thoughts? Did you care about the whole Thomas Wayne subplot?
I thought it was interesting, but I kind of liked how they kind of made him imperfect, like a flawed character. I will say I'm glad they didn't show the death for like the 5th time.
Yeah, didn't we get a flawed Thomas Wayne through Joker though? I thought that's kind of, wasn't that what Joker was about too?
I think the Joker was just. I don't know. I feel like the Joker kind of spoke about the way people don't care about lower class, but that could be said about any higher class politician. I think in this one we actually, Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne are both literally.
It was Martha Arkham.
How did you feel?
Oh, it is
about
Arkham. Yeah, it is Arkham. That's right.
Gives you a little bit of backstory for Arkham.
Yeah.
Gives it. I had nothing against it.
Yeah, I think it was just I don't know. It was maybe a cool little Easter egg. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was the reason that Thomas Wayne didn't want things to go out because he didn't want to affect his
run.
His not his run, but Martha. He didn't care about the run.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He didn't care about the run. He was actually just willing to. He would like he was going to go to the police about what he did. He didn't. He did not care about his run. He just cared about the way it would affect Martha.
Yeah.
That's why he did what he did. And I think that it wasn't supposed to be that we cared about Thomas Wayne, how he died. It's just that we see the way that it's going to affect Bruce from this point on. How he realizes that there are no perfect people. Mm-hmm. He in his head probably grew up thinking that Thomas Wayne was a white knight, the epitome of a good person.
Yeah.
But at this moment, he realizes that people have flaws and that they're not always perfect. So maybe.
Do you think it would have benefited the movie if they made Batman more, I guess, of an active participant in this whole mystery? Like, I thought a lot of those movies are things that are happening around Batman or Bruce. Like, the Thomas Wayne thing, that has nothing to do with Batman. Like, yeah, it's his dad, and he probably looked at him like this amazing knight in shining armor. But I was like, it should be around Bruce. Like, this whole, I think my biggest issue is like, with Riddler, you find out at the end of the movie, his whole reason for creating this whole thing is because the Wayne Foundation was supposed to be giving money towards orphans that had no home, right? Mm-hmm. And then you find out the goons and the mafia of Gotham essentially are stealing from that trust fund, and then there are now orphans left on the street with no home, right? But I thought, like, if they're going to have this whole thing with Batman and Riddler playing this game, do you think that Batman should have been an active participant and maybe his action should have been something that triggered Riddler to go off the edge rather than just something that happened 20 years ago?
Well, the sin to the father story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Batman.
But don't you think it would have made for a stronger connection of something that Batman did rather than just following the tracks that has really nothing to do with him?
In a sense, it is something that Batman did because Bruce did nothing to help out the orphans.
Yeah. But we don't get Bruce in this, so it's like they don't. I don't think the movie does a good job of connecting the dots because Bruce Wayne is never shown.
So you don't know that Bruce Wayne didn't help out the orphans. I'm confused as to what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
You think he wants Batman and Riddler to have
there should be an emotional connection of Batman and Riddler. If you something that Batman did that caused all of this, because I feel like, or you're saying the sins of the father. I feel like it's so pointless for this to be the first time we see him and him having no urgency or agency in the story because he didn't do anything. So it's like we're just seeing Batman essentially fall in the tracks. So it's like he's not an active participant. He didn't cause this issue, and he doesn't have to right or wrong that he did.
I would say that Batman did cause that because he was the inspiration for all that. He was.
So this has to do with Thomas Wayne.
I'm talking about Bruce, Wayne. Not Batman.
So what do you think?
Yeah, what do you want?
The whole Thomas Wayne.
Huh?
What does he want?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know what he wants?
No, the whole Thomas Wayne. Did it stop?
No, there's a message on this.
My original point. I think the whole Thomas Wayne stuff. I feel like that was complete, not to say trash, because I don't hate the movie. I don't think the movie's terrible. But I think my biggest issue with the movie is the idea of when you're having a new franchise or just a movie in general, you had to essentially set up the connection with us. I can't just like him because he's Batman because I know comics and I've seen other movies.
I agree.
So I think if they had a connection with Riddler and Batman, that made me say, like, oh, okay, I understand why Riddler's here. I understand why Batman's a part of this. Because he was just, oh, you're a part of this, Bruce. How am I a part of this? You're really not as smart as it. Yeah. And it's like, I think for me personally, I think there should have been, it should have been Batman moving the story along, his actions, rather than him following the ghost of his father.
I know.
For the first time we're seeing, like, it should be something that makes me realize, oh, I know you more.
I know what you're saying. So, I watched the movie with my friends as well. Kevin Leung, shout out. So what he thought about the movie, he thought that the conflict between Batman and Riddler was kind of impersonal, and he compared it to The Dark Knight, where there was no clashing of ideologies between Riddler and Batman. Batman just tried to stop Riddler. There was no clashing of the ideologies. There's nothing there. He compared it to Joker and Batman when Joker's dangling over. Batman's dangling Joker over the building.
The immovable.
Yeah, exactly. He compared it to that scene where that scene was so powerful, where Joker wants Batman to kill him to stop all this, but Batman doesn't do it. Batman doesn't kill it. So that there's that clashing of the ideology. You didn't really get that between
Batman and
Riddler
Riddler.
and Batman.
And that's why I wish Riddler was in the movie more.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I would agree. Because also I think we've talked enough about like the Waynes. Yeah. We should go into like maybe Gordon. What do you think about Gordon Alvan?
Best Gordon, I think, live action.
Mm-hmm.
As much as this was a Batman movie, this is also a good Gordon movie.
Yeah, it's a Batman and Gordon.
Between Gordon and Batman more than Batman.
Same.
Yeah. Catwoman.
You guys are stupid, I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gordon's awesome.
Yeah, I liked how he was more active and just he felt part of like a team with Batman instead of just like someone helping, like someone from the outside. He was on the boots on the ground with Batman. I really liked.
I also really like the scene with when they were in the police department.
Just sucks.
Like when they were all all the guys were on the Batman. It's like, oh, you can't do that, and then he tells them like, oh, you're gonna need to get out of here. So he's like, just punch me and get out of here. And when they talk again, he's like, hey, you could have pulled your punch. And Batman's like, I did. Yeah, it was so good. That was awesome. Everything with Batman and Gordon worked. I thought that was all really good. Yeah. You like Gordon?
No, I love Gordon, yeah. I think Gordon was the best. I think that their interaction was really cool. I like how they actually worked together. And it wasn't just like Batman goes to Gordon for information and leaves, like it usually is. I feel like they actually used each other for help, and I love that part.
What do you think about Alfred?
I will always like Dark Knight Alfred way more. He was...
And loves the Returns Alfred. He's great too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was a really good Alfred. Not to say that this Alfred was bad. I just think that we didn't get a lot of them.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah,
but in a movie where we have so many characters, I'd rather get less Alfred and more someone else.
But I will say, this movie felt like I kind of feared for Alfred. Like, even though Alfred is such a major part of the
I definitely thought he died.
They killed him.
I thought he died.
Killed him. That would have been such a good scene.
You guys always just want people to die.
No, but that would have been really good, I thought. Because he was barely in it.
I think that would have been the amazing emotional connection.
If he died, you would have been like, well, we didn't care enough about him, so he died.
No, I would have bought it. I would have been like, oh man, that's so fucked. Fuck you, Riddler.
Because Riddler killed Alfred, so that's the story of vengeance. That can't be about vengeance. Yeah. And to inspire the next generation. I think that would have been something that was really good. That would have kind of kicked it. That would have been like the hook. Like, oh, now I'm in. Yeah. Riddler actually did something that's huge that no villain's ever done before. Yeah. He actually killed Alfred. I think that would have been an amazing hook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we're not coming off too negative because I do like the movie. I do like the movie. I have things. I have things. Huh?
The pros outweigh the cons.
I think so. I think the way it's shot. Yeah,
even though you said it, I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I'm with. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I like the movie.
Yeah, I like the movie too. I think, like we said, it was shot beautifully. I think I just have some problem with the story, but other than that, I think as a collection, as a piece of art, it's really good.
Yeah.
Action. What do you guys think of the action?
It was good. Yeah, it was really good action.
The introduction of Batman, where he's like, "I am the shadows."
Yeah.
Like, every thug is looking in the shadows, not knowing if he's there.
Yeah, they were actually scared. They've never shown fear like that in a Batman movie. Like
exactly.
They were all scared of the knife. Like, once it hits like. 8,
but did you believe it though? Did you believe the fear?
I fucking believed it.
I don't know.
I didn't believe Selena, but I could believe that nighttime thing.
Yeah,
I believe Selena.
I loved when he just walked out in the rain very slowly. The first thing you know that the Batman is there is the boots sound and like just walking. You don't see him, you just hear it, and I like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, but He uses a battering twice. I mean,
Yeah, he didn't. I feel like he didn't
just
use
cut.
it.
He just used it
Yeah,
to
it's
cut
a fucking
stuff.
knife.
So that one thing with that, when he uses the battering, they really wanted to be like, oh, this emotional scene where he sacrificed
Yeah.
himself, and
You
then
look kind of
all of a sudden, what happened? He got out of the water instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize, like, oh, because he cuts it to
Yeah.
prevent the electrical cord from touching the water, which is cool.
Yeah.
I think the way the scene played out, it's like, oh, it's an emotional sacrifice. He cuts it, and it's like they could have played out for a little bit longer. Yeah.
Well, we know Batman's not gonna die.
Yeah, his plot.
So yeah,
That's
it's
true.
plot armor.
Plot
We got
armor.
it's Batman. We have a trilogy. It's
Yeah.
I mean, we can maybe expect. I feel like the way that these movies are, we can expect that later on when it's actually plausible. But right now, I'm glad that they didn't prolong it. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They-
Like,
they-
just move on.
I think if anything, we're not seeing oh Batman died. We're seeing Batman's willing to die.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
That's
right.
true. That was good.
Speaking of plot armor though, and like convenience armor, I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit inconsistent on. He kept like the bullets just kept pinging.
Yeah, I didn't
off him.
like that. I didn't
What?
like. He was like a walking tank. I felt like the
Yeah.
bullets did nothing.
The bullets
Yeah.
kept pinging off him, but at
Yeah, but
the
it was like
end,
then he was never in danger.
It's Batman.
but at
That's
the-
Batman though.
but at
Yeah,
the end,
that's his armor.
The shotgun blast takes him out, even though he survived a literal explosion at the funeral. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I just thought it was a little bit inconsistent, but besides that, those are gripes.
Yeah, it was like
I think
nitpicks.
the
Yeah.
costume, I thought, I don't know if I like it more than Christian Bale. I think I really.
Oh, I like
I
it
think-
way more.
I think this is the
it might be
best.
one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
I feel like
It's
Christian
one of
Bale
my
just looks so
favorites.
stiff in his.
Even in Dark Knight or
Yeah,
the Begins,
even
I
in
can
Dark
see
Knight.
I think Bale's actually too agile. I thought this one was
Yeah.
cool because he felt like a tank. Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, he might not have the most mobility, but you felt his weight when he would tap
Yeah,
and
yeah.
throw a punch. It's like that was pretty cool.
I like the flight suit when he just zips it and then
Yeah.
something comes on.
Yeah.
And he ate shit. That was really cool.
Yeah,
That was like a flying
That was funny.
squirrel.
Yeah, yeah.
He looked like a flying squirrel. I was like,
Yeah.
that's not
No,
that
there
bad.
is. You could tell this guy was getting his ass beat. Like this is definitely year 2 Batman.
Yeah.
He's not doing everything the way he would be doing it year 10, year 5.
Which
You know?
There was
villains do you
really-
guys want to see?
Huh?
Which villains do you guys want to see in the sequel?
Actually, before that, let's talk about Joker.
Oh.
I didn't really like that too much.
The actor's cool, but I was like,
I like
we don't
Barry
need
Keoghan.
Joker. We had Jared
Yeah.
Leto. We have fucking
Well,
Joaquin.
what I'm hoping is that Joker's not the villain in the next movie, and
Yeah,
that they kind of just sprinkle Joker in until the
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
end.
if he's like end credits for almost every movie, I'd be
Yeah.
kind of fine with
Samuel
that.
Jackson.
And then I think so I'm not gonna judge the Joker on this because we
Yeah.
barely got him. You know,
Did you like what you saw though?
I liked it. I liked his laugh.
You did?
I did like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we barely got half a second, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna judge it like that. I mean,
Yeah.
the first
would
time.
you, so would you want a movie with Joker?
I want it later on. I don't want it next. I mean, I would say like the first time we saw Thanos, he looked like shit, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting they're gonna fix things. You know, this is
Yeah.
we saw him in the shadows.
That's
They
true.
kept him in the shadows for a reason,
That's true.
so that he wouldn't have this image in our
Yeah.
head.
So what did you
I
all
think
kind
the
of
cool
give
thing
it
about
Joker?
it, it's kind of presumed that year 1 of Batman was Batman versus Joker.
Mm-hmm.
So I like how from now on it's
The
not going to be
history.
a Batman v Joker story. I think what would be more interesting, and apparently this was in an earlier draft, or maybe they even filmed it. Batman went to Arkham before he caught Riddler, and he would be like, Joker, you're like a villain, you're a psychopath. What would you think? Like, how would you do it? It's kind of like Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
Wait,
Wait, say it
for
again?
sure, for sure.
Where
They-
Batman, before Riddler gets caught in
It's a
Arkham,
deleted scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read about this
Yeah.
where Matt Reeves thought of this idea where Batman goes to Arkham to see Joker and kind of just like consult him on like, how do I take down this other psychopath, because you know you guys think alike, so how would you do it and how would I?
Like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, exactly. Silence of the Lambs, which I thought would be way more effective because you can then see Barry Keoghan fully as a Joker, or maybe you can just shoot it from behind.
Yeah.
but-
Also, even if it was that scene instead of the last one, I think it would be
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, like
Yeah, it
going
would
with
be
like,
a-
whoa, I can't believe he's in the
it
movie.
would be a better reveal than just
agree.
a dude in a window.
Because you know
in
when he
Arkham.
sees like, all right, I know
It
who's
felt
gonna
like
be.
the Justice League one where it's like, oh, the Legion of Doom, like they're setting
Yeah.
something up. But I think that would have been really cool if it was just Batman and Joker and they don't
Yeah.
play it
Yeah.
up. It's just like, oh, he's just talking to an inmate who he has no idea what he can do.
Exactly, and I think
Wait, so he talks to the Joker knowing he's the Joker.
yeah, because
That's just the
it's
Yeah.
presumed
Yeah.
that year 1 of Batman was just Batman v Joker.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think,
Okay, I mean, I'm okay that they left it out because that would have been like the 4th villain. That would have been another scene that we have.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's-
If
Usually
anything,
long-
I want to save Batman and Joker interacting later. You know?
I would want to
That's
keep
fair.
Joker in Arkham. I wouldn't want to see him out and about. I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm tired of that
I
story
think
where.
what me and I
it's
were talking
kinda-
about too, like how we're all saying that we kind of want Joker to come in later. But I think it would be really cool for like a 3rd or 4th Batman movie. Is like honestly Arkham Asylum, like just having Batman
Yes.
locked in Arkham
Yeah.
with
I
all
think
those
that would be
guys.
cool.
I think
would
that's
be
gonna be
so
the second
fucking
one.
cool.
Do you think Arkham's next?
I think Arkham's next.
I
don't know, I have my ideas.
A comeback for Riddler. So what do
Well,
you
they're
think?
having an Arkham Asylum TV show, so they're already
Yeah,
gonna,
that's
yeah.
the reason why. I think I already have. If there is a trilogy, I do have two villains planned out.
Who would you like?
Hold on. So are we gonna go to that part?
So
So
you're
you're
just
going
gonna
to
want to
scores
see?
first?
Huh?
Yeah.
Scores?
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, sorry. I didn't even score. Like, yeah.
Score and
Score
then
is
rank it.
amazing.
Yeah, score is good. Music is good.
Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, no. The
Soundtrack's amazing.
Yeah.
The Batman theme. I love when he goes to the funeral and the further you hear like that really somber part of the theme, and everyone's like, "What, Bruce Wayne? Bruce Wayne, you're here!" Like, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I liked how
soundtrack.
Michael Giacchino, he had this theme during the test footage of Robert Pattinson. He had this back in 2019 or early 2020. So he already had this theme in his head, and then I just thought it was amazing for this movie or Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of deep notes.
Yeah, the
Okay.
soundtrack was great.
So we're all done about Arkham. We're gonna go into.
We can talk about sequel ideas like after, but
Okay.
then
So what would you give it, Amir, out of 10?
I like doing. I don't hate the movie. I think it's good for like a comic. Like I would say, as a comic movie, it's still really good. But I think there are fundamental issues with it that hold back from being like a good movie in general. Like the fact that it's 3 hours and it feels its length, and I think there are not enough scenes of just dialogue. So I think it's a lot of action, it's a lot of plot, not enough story at times. But I would personally give it like a 7. So it's still that's not bad. But I think it doesn't hit the highs of like The Dark Knight or Batman Returns.
What would you give No Way Home?
No Way Home, I would give like a 9.
Wow.
That's nostalgia.
So you like
Because
this?
Toby.
Okay.
He's calling
He
himself on.
he
it.
passed the Toby. Yeah.
He's calling it on himself.
Yeah, it's just too big a part of my life.
That's true. Respectable.
Yeah, so I think that's what I really like. I think like Returns is better. I like Returns more. I like Dark Knight and Begins more, and then probably Lego Batman. And then I'll put that under this. Because I think Lego Batman's an amazing Batman movie.
Yeah.
It is still really good.
It is.
So I guess it would be like Dark Knight Returns, Begins, or no, Lego Batman Begins, and then Batman. I want to watch it again.
What would
Yeah.
you give it, Alvin?
I would give it like an 8.5. I think it's really good. It's probably my second or third favorite. It's top 3 Batmans for sure.
Interesting.
I have a lot of friends who said this is like a perfect movie, which I completely disagree on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a perfect movie at all, not even close, but I think it's a very, very good comic book Batman adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
And in my ranking, I feel like I enjoy Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight, if I'm being completely honest.
It was a really good scene in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
I was telling them was do you remember when he's talking to Rachel and he's with the two really ballerina girls in the
The models.
the models, and he's like, oh, like all this isn't me. I'm a lot more than this. And Rachel's like, oh, it's not who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you.
Yeah,
That's a really good. Like I like Dark Knight more, but that was an awesome scene in
Yeah,
Begins.
I think I gotta put this third. So Batman Begins, Dark Knight, just because of iconic Joker performance, and then the Batman. I think this is really good.
How do you rank it, like with Keaton or Kilmer or Clooney? Do you have you seen those recently?
I haven't seen them recently, but I do have like fond memories of them. I think I liked Returns better than 89, so I'll do it Returns, then 89, then probably BVS, and then like the Joel Schumacher and the other. Lego Batman I can't really put in just because I think it's like it's good, but
like Spider-Verse.
yeah, exactly, Spider-Verse for me. Yeah.
What about you, Owen? So give us your rundown on what you thought of the movie and where you rank it.
I really liked it. You guys gave me a lot of good points, and I'm gonna think about it when I'm watching it again. I honestly really enjoyed myself. I know you guys talk about like the Spider-Man moments, like when Toby first shows up. I feel like I felt super excited when it gets all dark, and then you feel your seat rumbling, and then you see the Batmobile turn on. There's so many cool.
The turbine noise.
Yeah, there are
That was
so many great
amazing.
scenes in this movie
Yeah.
where like we can nitpick it as much as we want, but I'm always gonna be a guy where it's like if I had fun watching the movie, then I'm gonna give
That's
it a
the
good.
most important
I'm gonna
thing.
give it a score.
Yeah.
If I had fun, and I had a fucking great time watching this movie.
That's
Yeah.
I had a great time
yeah.
watching this movie. I'm gonna give this movie like a 9 out of 10, and I still have to rewatch The Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight I know for a fact did not leave me with this kind of feeling after watching it.
Yeah, so where would you kind of give it as like is Robert Pattinson your favorite Batman?
He's my favorite Batman.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so just a little, I guess, back context. Owen has always been more of a DC guy over Marvel. So,
Yeah.
for, like Amir said, he liked No Way Home more than this. But for Owen, probably it felt like a much needed win for DC.
I remember after watching No Way Home, I was like, all right, now I'm excited for Batman. Like now something good's coming out.
Yeah. Because probably was a much needed win for DC. And you
Oh
being a
yeah,
DC
DC's
fan.
been doing good, dude. Peacemaker
Yeah.
was good. Suicide Squad was good.
Yeah.
Batman's good.
Yeah, I heard people were saying, not as like a joke, but like DC is actually eating well just because of how good Peacemaker was. They said it is the best comic book. It's the best comic book TV show.
Oh, it's so good. Peacemaker.
Yeah, and then as the Batman, everyone, I'm really happy. Like I don't think it's as the 10 that people are seeing it, but I'm happy that people are seeing it 3, 4, 5 times. So like, I want DC to because I think MCU now is just so overblown, but that's cool.
Yeah.
You enjoy
But
it.
if you do think it's a 10,
Let us know.
you got to rewatch it. I feel like there's no perfect movie like Logan. Logan's a perfect movie in my opinion. I would take Logan as a perfect 10.
Yeah,
but
we
I just
need
think
more
that
Mariko and Liev Schreiber and X-24 and Donald Pierce and Xander.
he's
Rhodes.
looking for an extended cut. Who wants that? Huh?
I'd watch that shit. I'm a Wolverine.
Okay, so what would you give Batman out of 10?
So I like Batman. I think like me and I were saying, it's not an improvement. I think I'd probably give it like a 7. I think I do want to rewatch it because when I'm at work, I would just be quoting like I really like the we're both a part of this. How am I part of this? Oh, you're really not as smart as you thought you were. Like I think if I were to watch it again, I'd probably give it an 8. I still have big problems with it, but I think as a movie, it's shot like amazing. I do want to see it again, even though it's 3 hours long. But I liked it. I think. Probably Dark Knight. I still like Dark Knight more. Maybe because my favorite villain is Two-Face, and I think
Yeah,
Two-Face
you're gonna have Two-Face in that one.
I think Two-Face is amazing in that. And I was also rewatching Superman Batman Begins because my second favorite Batman villain is actually Scarecrow, and I thought Scarecrow was really good. So I would rewatch it again. But I think overall, I would say it's a not only is it a really good comic movie, it's a good movie. Just I would have certain characters have more development. But overall, I liked it a lot. We did a lot. Do you guys want to go into like what you guys hope for like the sequel for the villain?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think one of the things we did really because if you don't know, Riddler is my favorite villain. So I was really excited going to seeing them do Riddler in a grounded approach, like making like the Zodiac Killer. I thought it was really cool. I would have preferred to see him more in it, but I think the villain that I think they can do really well in a sequel is I'm actually down to see Hush or Clayface and the idea of someone like cutting off skins and wearing it. Like I think that could be a really cool and really go with the horror of it. I think that could be cool. Because I think they actually even tease like Hush like during one of his videos. Like he's like Hush, Hush. Yeah. So that was cool. I would love to see Hush. I don't want to see Joker. I don't want to see Two-Face. So I think it'd be cool if they set up Harvey Dent. But I want to see someone new. So I guess either Hush or Clayface or even like Freeze. I want something that we haven't seen in like years. So that'll be my pick.
For me, I think I touched upon it earlier about like Arkham Asylum. I think I would love to see that for maybe a sequel, just having Batman in the asylum, and then you can have Hugo Strange and maybe Jonathan Crane introduced there. But I do think this whole universe is building towards the Court of Owls.
I think so too. I think so.
I just thought it was very apparent, like a secret, seedy underground of Gotham. Very corrupt. I just think it makes the most sense going there. Seeding it or putting the seeds in for the second one and then having it fully come out on the third one. But I do think Hush is also a good pick. Owen, what about you?
Well, I just think that when we have the opportunity here, we have a flooded Gotham. Where I want to bring in Killer Croc.
Wow.
I want to bring in Killer Croc. I think this
interesting.
is the only time you can really do it where it's somewhat believable. Especially because Gotham's underwater now.
It's still underwater.
It's still underwater in this new movie. Yeah, honestly, I don't mind taking place a week after. I would love to see it just like Batman having like
just a shit
just a shit month or something like that. So I want to bring Killer Croc in.
That's interesting.
So that's my pick.
I like that. I think I forgot that they're actually flooded, and we've never because Suicide Squad that really isn't Killer Croc.
That's not Killer Croc.
Yeah,
that's
I
not
want
Killer
to see
Croc.
especially with Matt Reeves.
Sure.
Since he did Planet of the Apes, I think he can make a Killer Croc look really good.
Oh yeah.
Really real. This is what my pick was. We in our movie fights, I pitched Firefly. I think, like I was saying, I want to bring a lesser known villain to the forefront, and I think it would be really cool, especially with Matt Reeves. I think he can do some really awesome visuals with like a flamethrower and like a jetpack. So that's how I would pick for like a sequel. Would be a Firefly and then also have Scarecrow in it.
That'd be cool.
That's a good point that Owen made about it still being flooded.
Yeah.
This is kind of similar to like Arkham City, I guess, but like No Man's Land, where just villains have like
Oh, their own territory.
That's
That'd
pretty cool.
be crazy.
Yeah. I think because I really like the thugs in the beginning. I feel like it's really cool. I really want to see Joker thugs, Penguin thugs. I want to see that. I will maybe not in their goofy outfits where they have clown makeup, but I like that they have different factions. Yeah.
Like we said, I think just they really nailed how scared they are of the night. It's like, once it hits 8 o'clock, you fucking run home.
Yeah.
Your parents gonna beat you up.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
dude, that's scary. That's really cool.
I think overall the movie is really dope, and I think what I'm really happy to see, my biggest takeaway is the idea of something not being a multiverse story,
Yeah.
and not being connected. So I'm so happy. I don't ever want to see like Superman in here or the Justice League. Like, just make it Batman. Go back to the roots of like the superhero. The main character is like the only true super guy, and then you have the villains. I think it's so cool.
Because I really like Superman, and I've seen TikToks where it's like they show like the trio and they have Pattinson next to Wonder Woman and Superman. I cannot picture it.
I can't even see that.
I can't see that. Yeah, I feel like this is its own little universe, and I love it.
It's also like with the physique difference you're seeing. Like they wanted to make Robert Pattinson like less like comic booky. Like when you see Superman, like Superman is literally, which I love. I think we all love.
God.
Superman is a walking god. He literally is a walking like 6 foot. So much muscle, like Batman wouldn't be, and also he would just make Batman look like a bitch. I don't know if I want that.
Yeah, he would.
But I do want. I hopefully we do get like another Superman movie. I don't know whoever will direct it, but I think for this, just keep it Batman.
I'll do it.
Owen does Hat in the Ring, man.
Yeah.
Owen understands Superman better than anyone I know.
Thank you.
Anything else? Do you think we kind of hit what we needed to about Batman?
I thought we hit the point that overall, like, the movie is good. I think it's worth watching at least once. And in theaters.
Yes.
Just make sure you don't drink water.
Yeah. I was holding it in real bad. I wanted to stay for the after credit, but
too tired.
It was 4 a.m. and I was tired. We had to shoot the next day. I was not doing it.
Yeah.
He literally came in and like, "Oh, what's up, Owen? How you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I literally only got to sleep for like 3 hours."
Yeah, literally. But it was worth it.
So that's good. But overall, I think this is one of our longer reviews. We haven't had a chance to do this in a while. Last time we did was like Scream.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to do this more often again. I think it's cool. Everyone had a very different perspective, and we all had good points to bring. And again, we have other videos on our channel. Watch our review like on Jackass or Death on the Nile, Uncharted. That was a really fun video to shoot.
That was
And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Me, Amir.
I'm Alvan.
Owen.
Omid, thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
See you guys.